It's OTA minicamp season, and today we're looking at the Raiders. We're taking a look at Geno Smith and company, work through some drills, throw the ball around, and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, soon-to-be training camp, workouts in between. Let you know what these players look like. You want to see a rookie? It's going to be right here. That player that's injured, that's coming back, it's going to be right here. New quarterback, like Geno, going to be right here. Click that button. Stop missing out so you know what your players are doing behind the scenes at practice. Because I also find news when I'm finding these clips. 4 minutes of clips. These are over multiple practices. Most recently is going to be in the beginning, I believe. This looks like from like yesterday. Here we go. Stepping up in the air. Deep ball city. Deep ball city. Another one. We're going moonball today. Moonball today. Call things out as you see them too, because I'm reacting. It's not like going over tape, of course. So if you see something from another player across the field or something, or you notice a player and I'm not noticing because the jersey's wrinkled up or something, let us know. Let us know. Geno Smith. I believe he's going to be a good facilitator of the football. I think he's going to be great for this team. There's Ashton Jeanty. I think for what you got here, this team's built fun. Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers as your hosses. That's where the engine is. Tight end and running back. That is where it is right now. Now we're getting a good look. We got Ashton Jeanty back there. Such a compact running back. A lot was talked on social media the other day about him not being vertical in his stance while at Boise compared to now. Now it's a little bit more like a normal running back is. I guess that's the best way to word it or worst way to word it. But I don't even care. It's the vision and contact balance. It's what he does in the second level. The ability to turn out of contact, hold his feet, get back up to speed. The vision to make guys miss in the open field, to read leverages, to find the hole, to get low, get skinny, get low at contact. The Raiders are a fun team to watch. Fun team to watch in the offseason, especially now. Changing coaching staff. They're not here to build slow. They're here to build fast. You can definitely see with some of the moves. You added a top flight prospect at running back. You got Brock Bowers, who's one of the best tight end prospects of all time. There are Geno and Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty's going to carry a load after we saw a lot of injuries at the running back position last year. That is something what we saw with the Raiders. We saw Zamir White go down. Alexander Madison missed a little time. We saw Amir Abdullah come up. We saw some other running backs get some opportunity. And they said, hey, can't be having this. Plus, we need a huge upgrade. Plus, Ashton Jeanty, one of the few top prospects. There's not many in this year's draft where you like say, hey, this guy's a difference maker. Now, the argument you can make against it, you can definitely say the running back class is vastly deep in talent. But you got your guy. You got a guy that you can hang your hat on for the next 5+ years to 10 years. I mean, you can't go against that. Good vision, good contact balance, good wiggle. We're seeing Geno Smith operate here. And there he is, the man. You got a veteran here. That's proven to go to different systems. It's worked under Pete Carroll. It's going to be poised. Big-time recruit out of West Virginia. West Virginia Mountaineers prospect. But still, look at him back there. Going to hold composure. And then with the draft, we added Jack Betch. The interesting thing about Jack Betch is, like, I'm not going to say he's a Justin Jefferson. We didn't really have any Justin Jeffersons in this year's class. However, you'll notice that he's a good wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. I mean, you had to draft Ashton Jeanty where he was, so you're going in the second round. You're looking at wide receiver. There you go. You got a good, sound wide receiver. A sound wide receiver that can make an impact to the offense. Now, if you're talking fantasy, that's different terms. There's potential there. You also got Jacoby Myers, who's vastly underrated. Very good wide receiver player, veteran, whatever. Like I'm saying, Geno, good facilitator of the rock, has good command of the offense. Look at that pretty ball. Look at that pretty ball. There's two of them up there, I guess. I guess we could say both pretty. Geno's is the one further out, I believe. Down that way. Looking solid. Looking solid. You got some rough defenses in this division. So upgrading at running back's vastly smart. Getting a veteran quarterback in there. That's a good facilitator to football. I say that a lot with Geno Smith. I say that with a lot of quarterbacks. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Patrick Mahomes. But you got some pieces there for him. But he's also not Will Levis either. He's not that type of player. He's proven to be able to get it done in the league. He's proven to hold water. He's proven to get it done. And the fact is, you're built studly at running back and tight end now. Now, going forward in the next few years, if we can find that one wide receiver that can take it a step forward in that first round, like, say, we get in the middle of the first, or we're in the right spot in the first round, like a Jeremiah Smith there or something, I imagine you're going to have a bad season that year for that to happen. I imagine so. I imagine he's going to be fighting to be one of the first picks off the board, unless we get hot and heavy with the quarterback class, which is likely to happen. Arch Manning's likely to stay another year. You might catch yourself in positioning to be able to trade up, make a move for that. Or if you're not, that means you had a good season. But if you get that one wide receiver, like, nothing against Jack Betch, he's a good, like I say, he's a good sound wide receiver. But if you get that true difference-making alpha next to Brock Bowers, and you got Jeanty, and you get that down the road, and you're in a position where you're not probably going to be going too early at quarterback anymore, you're just probably not unless you make a massive move. But if you can get that one difference maker wide receiver that just slips a little bit in the draft and you make that play, that might be a wrap. And you got a guy like Geno or whoever else you have down there. I'm talking maybe a couple years down the road, now, wherever you're at quarterback, that might be a wrap. You might be doing some big things, especially if Ashton Jeanty lives up to his potential. That might be a wrap. Honestly, that might be it. That'll get you over the hunt because you'll have Jack Betch. He's a sound wide receiver. That's going to help this team. Nothing against him. But I'm saying if you catch that top-tier prospect coming out of high school and you catch him at the right pick, right moment, right time, maybe he slipped a little bit. And when I say right moment, right time is meaning that, hey, this draft's heavy with quarterbacks. Some players are going to fall a little bit. And this one happens to be the guy. Because I don't expect you guys to be that bad to where you're drafting up top anytime soon. I think Jeanty's going to hold you pretty good on offense. I think you're going to be able to move the chains. I think the division's very tough. I think this is going to be a fun division to watch. You got the Chargers. You got the Broncos just stacking on their defense. Getting weapons for Bo Nix. And then you got the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a fun division to watch. I think this division is going to get very tough. I think adding to this offense, considering you got tough defenses in this division, is smart. I think being able to run the ball, and then you can do the RPO, maybe flip it to Bowers. That's going to be very tough. That's probably something they're thinking about. You have that. And then on the outside right now, for the short term, Myers and Betch or whoever else that steps it up too. And then your tight end twos, Michael Mayer. Your tight end twos better than a lot of tight end ones when it comes to prospect-wise and upside. You're talking about Michael Mayer was like one of the top tight ends in college football that many thought was going to be a first-round pick, falls to you in the second round. Like I said, like a good player that falls to you at wide receiver, it's a wrap. But Michael Mayer falls to you. That's your tight end two. That's your second tight end. That's an incredible prospect to have right next to Brock Bowers. That's you guys got some depth here that is just like that diamond in the rough. There's just some things on this team that if it takes a step forward, if like a few players just exceed expectations, take a step forward. Now, fantasy content. Let's just talk off the rip here. Geno Smith, Moneyball quarterback. You're streaming quarterbacks. You're just playing matchups. Ashton Jeanty, you're going to have to pay the piper for sure. And you're going to have to make that decision. Depends on what's on the board at that moment. He is going to get the rock. He's going to get his opportunity. Might have to ramp up a little bit. Rookies tend to do so. You don't know when or how long. And that could be just in training camp. He could be off the rip, one of the best running backs in the league. I look for him to be a very sound running back in the league. Jack Betch is a dark horse wide receiver right now, out of the scope really for redraft. However, he's a sneaky prospect. He's super cheap in Dynasty. I would just moneyball that with the running back position in rookie drafts. Rookie drafts are wrapped up for many leagues, but a lot of them are popping off still. He's just that moneyball play due to the draft capital, due to the depth chart, to where your tiers are starting to wind down at running back. You make that move. That's what you're doing, and we're slamming running backs. We got our wide receivers last year. Not all of them exactly hit like a Keon Coleman or anything like that, but honestly, we diversed from all the wide receivers in that draft. We lean into the strength of the draft class. This year, it's running back, so we're leaning into the Jeantys. We're leaning into the Hamptons, of course, all throughout the first round and second round, and we're taking the values at wide receiver. So if X wide receiver, say T-Mac, falls some spots and we're tiered off at running back, then hey, it's that value. The value's there. And honestly, that's how I'm playing it, and that's how I'm playing my drafts. If I told you X, Y, Z players were the only ones to get, but they get reached on by the guys in your league, then guess what? You do not have the fall option, so why not just strategize? And from a macro sense, that's probably the best way considering the hit rates in the rounds anyway. It's just have an overall macro strategy and just pick the players you want in that tier. Brock Bowers, stud tight end, should be considered the top tight end off the board. All formats, that's a no-brainer right there. And I'll fight in the streets over Brock Bowers. I'll fight in the streets over that name, especially when Tyler Warren's involved. And those few people that said Tyler Warren was better than Brock Bowers, I'll fight in the streets over that any day, any week, any time. But I like the build of this team. I think I like the build of this team because a lot of people like to go to the other teams in the National Football League that's get a lot of name cachet to the stars and stuff on it. And a lot of people look down on the Raiders, especially East Coast area, Midwest area. They don't think about them too much. Maybe that's better to say than look down. But still, they're a fun build. You got Geno Smith, who had his run in Seattle. You got Brock Bowers at tight end. You got Ashton Jeanty. So you're built grimy there to win ugly. Tight end and running back, you're built studly there. And now we got to get our pieces at wide receiver. I think this is fun. I think that's fascinating. And your tight end 2 is better than a lot of tight end 1s in the league when it talks about just sheer talent. Maybe a few, maybe over-exaggerated, just talking, right? So, man, that's a fun team to watch build. That's a fun team to watch come up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.